in that interview in December, we said, "You're a storyteller. How would you tell the story of your election?" And he paused and hemmed and hawed for 30 seconds. And then he said, "Well, I think the whole story is a novel." And then he said, "And I'm not even the most interesting character in it."
Yeah.
And then he went through Sarah Palin and John McCain and Hillary Clinton, and as you say, Joe the Plumber, William Ayers, and Reverend Wright. And, Jim, it was a remarkable cast of characters. I mean, this campaign had so many different elements that came together to make it a good story. Country's at a historic pivot point, potentially a wide open race, deeply unhappy country and divided over the war in Iraq, an economy that's on the edge. We didn't realize how bad it was when the campaign started, but there was a sense of economic insecurity out there. And then you get this unbelievable drama with this cast of characters playing out over the better part of 2 years. It was extraordinary.
The fascinating part about it is that, characters, major, minor, real or phony, were all, presented with a great deal of, if not seriousness, a lot of attention. But that gets back to another aspect of this campaign, and that is the media. And what role did the media play in this?
Well, it's always enormous, and in this case even more so. At the age of the internet, the age of blogging, around-the-clock journalism, 24 hours, not much time to step back and for the regular reporting process to go forward, to analyze and portray in depth. We, doing a book, had more leisure to be able to step back. We hoped to be able to do that. But the media feeds into this frenzy of every day is something dramatic, even though it may not be, and it may miss the story of what was really taking place behind the scenes.
So there's an awful lot to pay attention to. An awful lot. Now, even when you're paying attention to the main story, how are the candidates doing? There's one fantastically major story going on in the background, and that's the Ted Kennedy thing.
The story that's told in this book about the competition between Barack Obama and Hillary and Bill Clinton in particular for the endorsement of Ted Kennedy is one of the great sub-stories of this grander story. They both badly wanted Ted Kennedy's endorsement. And he was drawn to Obama, though it wasn't clear he was going to endorse him, and he held back for some time. But what he saw in Obama was something that reminded him of his own brothers, Jack and Bobby. And he saw the appeal that Obama had among younger people, including some of his nieces and nephews and their kids. And he was struck that Obama had the capacity, in his estimation, to move the country to a different place politically, to transcend some of the old divisions. But the Clintons really wanted his endorsement, and there began a series of conversations on the telephone between Bill Clinton and Ted Kennedy, which we recount in considerable detail in the book. And they are heated conversations. They are strained conversations. It all gets down to the question of, to what extent was Bill Clinton injecting race into the Democratic contest?
Particularly in South Carolina.
Particularly during South Carolina in that 3-week period. And Ted Kennedy was terribly upset that Bill Clinton was contributing to the injection of race into the campaign. And he confronted Clinton with that in these conversations. Clinton was furious at that. After all, his entire career politically had been aimed at bringing the races together. That played out over weeks, and ultimately the endorsement was one of the pivot points in the campaign.